Hello guys, welcome to this channel. I'm Walter, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to add this container reveal effect to your Wix Studio website. Now if you're excited to join me in this tutorial, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section if you have any question. Now let's jump right into this tutorial. Amazing. So this is where we're going to be adding the container reveal effect to our Wix Studio website. And if you already have your website, you're going to go ahead and choose a section or a part of your website where you want to add this effect to. Now for me, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and over this section I'm going to go ahead and add a new section. Now this section is where we're going to be adding our text, which is right over here, and also where we're going to be adding these containers to. So we're going to head back to our website, and over here we're going to go ahead and click on grid layout, and once you do, it's going to open up the section grids, and we're going to click on this section with 2 rows. Now go ahead and click on that. Now that's going to add 2 cells to your section. Now the first section we're going to be adding our title and a description, and the second cell we're going to be adding our containers. So now first we're going to head over to add elements. I'm going to go ahead and add a title text. Now we're going to go ahead and stretch the title text out, and then we're going to click on edit text. I'm going to change this text to say Wix ideas. Now this can be anything that you want it to be, but for me I'm going to go ahead and highlight that and head back to my design, and here I'm going to align this to the center. Now I'm going to add another paragraph text, so head back to your add elements, and under the quick add we're going to go ahead and add the paragraph. Now drag this and drop onto your first cell, and again you want to stretch this across just to make sure it looks neat and tidy, and again you also want to scroll down to design and align to center, and also want to align this to the center of our cell. Now go ahead and position this properly, and on your keyboard, if you're on Windows, go ahead and click and hold on the shift key, and if you're on Mac, go ahead and click and hold on your command key. Then click on the second element to group them together, and head over to stack and stack these 2 elements together. Now you can go ahead and make sure that this is aligned to the top, and it's also aligned to the center of our cell. Now we are done with our very first cell. I'm going to head over to our second cell where we're going to be adding this reveal effect to. Now as you can see, we have a little bit of gap between these containers, and that comes from our section. Now while clicking on your second cell, head over to this breadcrumb and select your section grid. Now this is the section where the cells are on top of, so we're going to scroll all the way down until we get to this docking, margins and patterns. So for our padding, we're going to go ahead and add a padding to the surrounding parts of our section. So change this to the padding size that you want. For me, it's going to be 12 pixels. Now as you can see, we have a spacing around our section, and we're going to go ahead again and click on our second cell. Now what we need to add here is a container, so go over to add elements, and over here at the quick add, you're going to find the container, so go ahead and drag this onto your second cell. Now you're going to go ahead and stretch this width until it gets to the end of our cell. Now this is looking like what I want. I also want to reduce the height to probably something around 143 pixels in height. Now you can choose this to be any height or any length that you want, but this is just for demonstration purposes for this tutorial. And as you can see right over here, we have a rounded edge at the top of our container, so I'm going to go ahead and add a rounded edge. So over here we're going to click on this to edit these rounded edges individually for all the edges of our container. So at the top I'm going to add a 10 pixel, and also at the top right I'm going to add a 10 pixel as well. Next I'm going to go ahead over to the fill color and opacity, and I'm going to change this color to this yellow here. Now this is looking like what I want to have, and as you can see, this is exactly what we're looking for. Now we're getting there, and the next thing I want to do is to start adding my text element onto this container. So head back to your add element and drag the title onto your container, and once you are happy with this, you're going to go ahead and edit text. I'm going to change this to number 1. And we're also going to select that text, and we're going to change the color of the text to a darker color to make it more visible. Now as you can see, this is more visible and it's looking good. Now let's right click on this element and duplicate. Now once you duplicate that, drag it to the right side of your container, and here we're going to also make sure that we stretch this across, and we're going to change the text to say watch and enjoy. All right, now as you can see, this text is looking too big and about the same size as what we have on the left, but we're going to go ahead and change the font size to something smaller just to make sure that it looks properly arranged. This is all looking good, and we're going to click on this text here and also hold on shift on Windows or command on Mac and select the second element, and we're going to go ahead and stack this element. Now after stacking that, you can see we have a space between the first element and the second one, so you can go ahead and increase this or reduce it according to how you want it to be. For me, I think this is all looking good, and I'm going to leave it this way. Now to the main part of this tutorial, which is the reveal effect on scroll. we're going to go ahead and click on our container. We're going to open this section notes. Now before we add this, if you enjoyed this tutorial so far, please don't forget to subscribe and also leave a comment if you have any question. So let's go ahead and click on this animations and effects icon, and here we're going to head over to the animation effect, which is going to be scroll. Now we're going to add a new one, which is going to be the review. Now once we selected review, head over to adjust animation. Now here when we scroll, you can see that an animation has been applied, and that's because it's starting from the bottom. We're going to change the direction to left. So that means when we scroll, it's going to start from the left side to the right. Now this is exactly what we want, and this is completed for the first container. Now we're going to go over to the container again and click on it, and you can click on this icon here to duplicate again. Now we have duplicated this container. We're going to go ahead and drag this a little below the first one, and then we're going to go ahead and stack these two elements together. Now let's click on the first container and then click and hold on Shift on Windows, or you can click and hold on Command on Mac and click on the second element to stack them together. Now as you can see, we have put these two elements together and we have stacked them. And we're going to go ahead and open up our inspector and then head over to design. Now we're going to scroll down to where you get to the layout, and here we're going to make sure that these elements are centered, and also we're going to head over to the top and we're going to align these elements, which is the stack, to the left. Now most importantly, we also want to make sure that we align this to the left because there's a little bit of space for this element. So let's align that to the left. Now over here you can see that we have the item spacing, which is the spacing between the first container and the second container, and over here it's overlapping. It's a -9 pixel. So we're going to go ahead and change that to 0 pixel. That is looking all good. We have a corner radius for the second one. So let's click on the second container, and here we're going to design the second container. So let's first of all change the background to a red one. And we're going to change the container radius to 0 pixels on all sides. Now most importantly, let's go ahead and edit the text so they look different. We're going to change this text to say subscribe. Amazing. So this is looking all good, and we're heading to a very progressive direction. Now most importantly, you can see over here that this section is yet overlapping what we have on here, so you can go ahead and drag this down just to make sure that the element is not overlapping. Now we're going to make sure that we align this stack to the top, so click on this particular container and use this breadcrumb to target the stack, and here we're going to go to the inspector and align this to the top. Now that is beginning to look all good, and most importantly, we have the effect already applied. Now let's go ahead again and duplicate this section. So right click on your container and duplicate, and we're going to do this for the third one. And here we're going to change this color to this blue color, and we're going to change this to number 3, and this is going to be like and share. And most importantly, we already have the effect applied. And next we're going to again click on this container, and then we're going to duplicate this container as well, and we're also going to change this background to a different color as well. And here we're going to change this text. This is going to be number 4. We're going to change this to leave a comment. All right, now we're going to click on our container right again, and we're going to head over to the design and the corners, and again we're going to click on this to edit the edges independently, and we're going to change the bottom right and left to 10 pixels, and this is going to add a rounded corner to our container. Now as you can see, we do have a spacing between these containers, and that is so easy for us to change. And the way we're going to do that is to head over to this breadcrumb, and we're going to target the stack where all the containers mix together. Now we're going to head over to the layouts, and here in the item spacing, we're going to change that to 0, and that is going to change all the spacing. And as you can see, this is all looking good. So let's go ahead and preview and see how this looks. All right, so we have added container review animation to our Wix Studio website, and as you can see, this is looking very clean and very professional. So you can add any element or any text that you want onto these containers, and just add a very clean scroll animation or review to these containers. It does look like a single element because of the rounded edge at the top for this one, and then at the bottom it just looks as if it's a single component. But these are individual containers that we have stacked together and made it look very professional. So if you know this tutorial was very helpful for you, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for viewing, and do have a nice day.